Man, oh man, oh man, Mo Green is inspired. Once again, I'm gonna give you about 20-25 minutes of fire real quick. We'll wait till like one ahead hops in. Talking about Colin Kaepernick and the workout that he had over the weekend. To catch up to speed, I guess the NFL set up a workout for Colin Kaepernick to showcase his talents to, I think, 25 different teams at the Atlanta Falcons Stadium. Kaepernick didn't show up. I guess it was some type of politics or whatever, some type of waiver. I don't really know the specifics with that. So Cap decided to go to some high school almost like 2 hours away from that particular location, hour and a half away. And he held his own workout. I guess the NFL didn't want the press to be allowed to view the workout, but they said that Cap could bring his own media. I don't really know how true that is, and I'm not really concerned about that. That's my opinion of the whole workout situation is it's of no consequence. My question is, Colin, he wore. They say he didn't wear the. I don't know exactly where he wore the shirt. I think during the post workout interview he wore it or something like that. And I was wondering, man, is that disrespectful to Kunta Kinte? Now follow me for a second, right? When Cap a couple years back allegedly. And I'm not reading none of these comments, so I can't see what y'all writing right now. I'll see it afterwards because I don't want to be distracted from my thought. So a couple of years back, they say he had a chance to play for the Baltimore Ravens, and then his girlfriend, who seems like an individual that's always speaking for him, that's like strike one. Never let your girl speak for you in public. If you're the man and you're supposed to be the head of the household, but that's neither here nor there. She tweeted a picture of Ray Lewis looking like Steven from Django, who was like the head coon on the plantation. Now, a lot of people have related the NFL to being like a plantation, especially when they do the combine and they measure the muscles and the pecs and all that. It definitely looks like kind of like a slave auction. It's reminiscent of the slave auction, so I can see those comparisons. And then they call not just NFL owners, but major sports team owners. They relate them to slave masters as well. I think it's a poor comparison because as a slave, all you got was your ass beat and a piece of cornbread. As an NFL athlete, NBA, MLB, potential ability to take care of yourself and a lot of people. You sacrifice your body on that field, but it's a willful choice. It's a willful choice that you make, though. You know what I mean? It's not something that nobody's forcing you to go into the NFL draft. It's not like the Army draft where they just rounded your ass up and making you fight. NFL it's not a right. What's the word I'm looking for? The NFL is something that you choose to do, and it's not a privilege. Some people, like, if you have the ability and the talent, you get selected to do it, but you work hard to be in that. People didn't work hard to become slaves. That's not what I'm talking about, though. If Kaepernick thinks this, it just sends conflicting messages. Kunta Kinte, I mean, you don't even have to get into, like, super detail of who he is. You just know he was a slave that kept trying to escape. They did the movie The Roots with LeVar Burton. He was a slave that kept trying to get away from his slave masters. Listen to this. A slave that constantly tried to get away from his slave masters to the point he was such a fast runner, they cut his foot off, and he still was trying to get away. You saw Roots, you saw LeVar Burton. What's your name, boy? Kunta Kinte. And finally, they broke him and made him say Toby. So he eventually, they broke his spirit, and he went along to get along. This is just coming to me right now. Maybe Colin wearing that Kunta Kinte shirt is a way of him saying, you guys finally broke me. You cut my foot off. Fuck it. I'm going to just adhere to what it is that y'all want me to do as far as not protesting during the national anthem. Maybe it's that. I don't think the brother is thinking that far down the line. I don't think so. I don't think he's thinking that far down the line. That throws that Kunta Kinte shirt on. You think the NFL is a bunch of slave masters running slaves and making them do whatever it is that they want them to do, even though they choose to be there and they get paid handsomely to do it, right? By you wearing that Kunta Kinte shirt, it sends mixed messages, right? By you wearing that slave shirt, hold on a second. By you wearing that slave shirt, that Kunta Kinte shirt, it sends mixed messages. What are you trying to say? Are you a slave that's trying to get away from the slave masters because you think we're slave masters? Are you a slave whose spirit is broken and you're willing to toe the line? Because that's what happened with Kunta. Eventually he said it, I mean, according to the movie Roots. I don't know the extensive history of Kunta Kinte, but I'm just going off my limited knowledge of Roots or whatever. Eventually they whipped his back and he started calling himself Toby. So are you saying that you're going to assimilate and listen to what the NFL is saying? Do you view the NFL as being slave masters, right? And if you're Kunta, are you the Kunta that's trying to escape? Or are you the Kunta whose will has been broken? Ultimately, at its core, Kunta Kinte did not want to be a slave. That's why he continually tried to escape. If Colin Kaepernick thinks that the NFL are slave masters, at this point, I don't know what the hell Colin Kaepernick thinks or what his plan is as far as he's trying to get back to the NFL. Like, he's already brought awareness to police brutality to, like, a gang of folks that probably never realized this was such an issue. So kudos to him for that. Mission accomplished, man. He's definitely brought this awareness, you know, and he sacrificed his career for that. So kudos to that. I'm not even talking about that. My thing is move forward. Now, what is it? What does he want? Does he want to play for the league? Okay, you want to play for the league, but you say they're slave masters, but you're wearing a shirt of a slave that always tried to escape, whose will was eventually broken. Now, if you're saying that your will is eventually broken, and then fuck it, I'm gonna just get along to get along, how does that look to it like towards pro-black people? Because a lot of people are saying, oh, he accepted that settlement, so they're taking it as, you know, him selling out. I really don't have no opinion on it because I really don't know where he's going. Like, his initial move, as far as bringing awareness to police brutality, was a major success. You know, they said ratings were down from the NFL for the last couple of years. This season is off the motherfucking chain. This is one of the greatest NFL seasons I have seen in my entire life. I ain't never seen no shit like this before. But that doesn't have anything to do with what's being talked about. My question is, was it disrespectful to the ancestors? Ultimately, I think it is, man. I think it's a mockery of Kunta Kinte. Now, my boy Juvan, he posted that the shirt was to show like all the hurdles he has to hop through in order to be heard, or some conglomerated bullshit that he said that it really didn't make any sense. Javon, if you're watching, because I can't see no comments right now. I see the comments after him. You have no argument in this situation. There's no argument. Because there's so many historical figures that have hopped through hoops to get through something, you know, if you want to use that metaphor, that he could have used. Carl Lewis was a great hurdler. Carl Lewis was a world-class gold. He could use jumping over some hurdles. You understand what I'm saying? He could use like those brothers that in the 60s in the Olympics in the 60s hold up the black fist, and I think he wore that shirt before, so maybe it wasn't fashionable, maybe it's out of style. So I get that. I just don't. It this seems like a confused individual. Like, to me, like, a quarterback is supposed to be somebody that's poised in the pocket, that's poised under pressure, that's deliberate with his execution. Like, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's like, damn, if I throw this Kunta Kinte t-shirt on, yes, I have an interpretation of why I'm throwing this on, but there's a strong possibility that when people look at this shirt, they can interpret it in a myriad of different ways. Obviously, he wasn't thinking of it. There's so many other shirts that he could have worn. He could have worn Muhammad Ali's shirt. You know what I mean? Like, not refusing to stand up to the draft. And the thing is, the whole thing with the Muhammad Ali, him trying to get back into the league is like Muhammad Ali, like, fuck it, I'll fight in this war so I can box in a couple of years. He's still kind of folded, you know what I'm saying? But I just think, ultimately, for me, personally, Kinte is disrespectful to him because he was trying to escape. He was trying to get away from the slave masters. A lot of y'all pro-blacks, I always say quote and quotes and pro-blacks because a lot of y'all individuals are just armchair revolution. Nothing, y'all just talking shit on the internet, you know? And the biggest stances that some of you have ever taken as far as for the cause is for this so-called boycott of the NFL, which you say you're boycotting. And I'm not calling out anybody in specific, but I've seen a lot of motherfuckers, they say they boycott, but they know every single little small, minute detail of what's going on in the NFL. And I'm not even talking about just political things. I'm talking about specific stats. I'm talking about records. You know what I mean? I'm talking about who won the Super Bowl. I'm talking about MVPs and all this shit. For a person that's not watching NFL, you damn sure know a lot about what's going on. And even if you know this information, right? If you know all this information, like you're boycotting the NFL, but you know, we have social media. People always throwing stuff at you. You go to the barbershop, you go to stores, you're on buses, you're driving around. People always talking, so you're going to hear about what's going on in the NFL, even if you're trying not to be a fan of it. I would say still keep that information that you have to yourself about the NFL. Don't talk about it anymore. Matter of fact, you don't even have to say that you're protesting this shit. Because I feel like if you always say I'm protesting, and you're sharing pictures, you're still promoting the NFL. You're still promoting that shit. Hey, but that's just me. But ultimately, I think I don't think Cap thought it out 100%. I think it was disrespectful to the ancestor Kunta Kinte. Or let me even further dissect what I'm saying is, I think it could be interpreted as disrespect towards Kunta Kinte, depending on how you look at it. The shirt just sends way too many mixed, confusing messages. And the thing is, you know what's funny? You know one thing we're not talking about no more? We're not talking about police brutality. We're not talking about police brutality towards blacks. We're just talking about these various stunts that Colin Kaepernick is pulling. We're talking about the stunts. We're not. It's about Kaepernick now. It's about him with his big afro. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to disparage him. I mean, people talk about how he was raised by a suburban family, and he wasn't even raised. I mean, he was raised by white folks. He wasn't even raised by blacks, and his pro-blackness is recent. And you know what? There's no timetable of when you can become enlightened and awakened. The whole point is that you become that. But it just seems that he became conveniently pro-black once his play started to decline. I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan. I watched the dude lose his job to Blaine Gabbert. You know? And the whole boycott and the whole NFL, it's like most of the team, like half the teams didn't need him. You understand what I'm saying? I would say boycott the teams that didn't need him or whatever. But the whole boycott, we're not even talking about that. I just think it wasn't a well thought out plan. He looked like a confused quarterback in the pocket, scrambling and shit, about to get sacked, not knowing where to go. So I'm going to throw this Kunta Kinte shirt on. Kunta Kinte didn't want to be a slave. Kunta Kinte didn't want to work for his masters. You understand? Kunta Kinte wanted freedom. Kunta Kinte got his foot cut off for motherfucking freedom. I would say where Harriet Tubman, rescuing slaves. Not a slave trying to... Harriet Tubman was a person that was trying to rescue people. Where Frederick Douglass, where Marcus Garvey. There's so many other people that you can... Well, Marcus Garvey was more of a separatist. He was trying to have he was a Pan-African. He was into Pan-Africanism. So he was trying to get away from him. So Marcus Garvey wouldn't have been the right one to wear. But I think Frederick Douglass was more or less... Or the fucking Martin Luther King. He was more about assimilation. And that's the thing. What does Kaepernick want? Does he want assimilation or does he want separation? I know ultimately he wants justice and police brutality. First of all, this shit is annoying. Like, the NFL ain't cops, yo. They're not police. Like, to me, you protest towards the police. You stand around police precincts. Like when not Dylan Roof, because he's in prison. But like a George Zimmerman, he's not a cop, but I'm trying to, Danny Pintaro, whatever, I'm probably saying the names wrong. But all these people that were killed by Amber Geiger, whatever police precinct that she worked at, she got sentenced a bullshit sentence or whatever. But if y'all want her to get sentenced longer, surround the motherfucking courtroom. Human chain around that shit until they start changing shit. You know, the NFL don't got nothing to do with the fucking police. It has nothing to do with it. It's just taking advantage of a situation because all eyes are on it, which makes sense. But I feel like there was other ways that he could have did it more tactfully. It's easy to talk, you know, be pro-black and all that shit when you're losing. Do it when you're winning. When we was going to the Super Bowl and shit like that. Nothing. He had his cornrows then, tattoos out. He wasn't talking about that. Hold on one second. My bad. I gotta follow this GPS. I'm not paying attention. That's why I don't usually like going live when I'm trying to handle business. But I definitely missed my turn. But I don't want to veer off into talking about Colin Kaepernick kneeling and if it was a good idea. It served an awesome purpose as far as bringing awareness to police brutality on a grand stage. There could have been, were there more tactful ways he could have done that? Possibly. That's the method that he chose to execute, and we see what the result was from what he did. But I just think ultimately just wearing a t-shirt, it sends too many mixed messages, because you can say it was disrespectful, like so many different levels, man. You know, you could say it was disrespectful to Kunta Kinte because he was trying to escape as a slave. You could say it's disrespectful to himself because eventually Kunta was broken and started calling himself Toby. So what is Colin saying, that he's Toby now? He's towing the community, the corporate line or whatever. You can say that it was disrespectful to the NFL for referring to the NFL as slave masters, and this is this slave that's either trying to stop being a slave or trying to assimilate himself back into slavery. It just, you guys, and I'm gonna read this shit later because I can't see y'all comments right now, but you guys, man, tell me how him wearing that Kunta Kinte shirt to an industry who people view as slave masters as something that was positive for him, positive for Kunta, and positive for the league. It's a troll move. I'm a troll. A troll know a troll. I internet troll. Dude was trolling straight up, man. It just wasn't it wasn't well thought out. It's a microcosm of his ability on the field as his skills started to erode. So many famous, positive, revolutionary black people. He could have worn Huey P. Newton on his chest, like anybody. Eldridge Cleaver, whoever. Medgar Evers, Rosa Parks. There's so many like influential black folks he could have used that were not slaves, that were fighting for equality and justice. Kunta Kinte wasn't fighting for no motherfucking equality and justice. He was trying to escape bondage. He was trying to get away. Why would you wear a t-shirt of a person trying to get away and you trying to run back into the house? That makes no sense. That's like if you're trying to get a job at some high-paying LGBTQ organization or something like that, right? And then you wear a Chick-fil-A t-shirt. You know, Chick-fil-A, you know, they're not open on Sundays, and they've said disparaging things about the LGBTQ. What message is that sending? You know? What message is that sending? Or like, if you are trying to work at some type of Jewish center, and way too extreme because nobody should be wearing no shit like that, but you're trying to work at a Jewish center, and then you got on like a Mercedes-Benz t-shirt, or you a Jew trying to buy a Mercedes-Benz, like certain things just don't, it just doesn't mix, it doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't seem well thought out. It's illogical. And when some of y'all, like, I understand y'all riding for your boy Cap or whatever, and I understand you're defending his stance. And I feel like I believe that it is fucked up that the NFL shunned him for so long for the stance that he took, being that there's a lot of quarterbacks that he could have, whose jobs, or a lot of teams needed him. I believe that. he went about it the smartest of ways if he really was trying to get a job? No. But whatever, that's the choice that he decided to make. You understand what I'm saying? And here he is today. Now, if you say the NFL is some racist motherfuckers, I mean, most old white men as billionaires, they have a level of... This is the fucking country that we live in. This is not something that's surprising. It's just like, yo, this is where we live. That's like you playing basketball. You're in an away game, and you like mad that the referees is calling like in favor of the home team. That's just how it is, yo. Ain't nothing. The only thing we can do about it, yo. I'm not gonna give no solutions. I'm not gonna say nothing. Fuck that. I'm not giving no solutions. I'm tired of saying this shit over and over. I'm not giving no damn solutions. The answer is in the problem. You know what I'm saying? You want a solution to how black folks can improve? The answer is in the problem. I'm not wasting my breath going on saying what we should do, because I gotta get my life in order. I have to improve as an individual. You know what I mean? And the thing is, Kaepernick went up. Nobody is saying that, because I peeked at the comments real quick, but I really don't want to get sidetracked. Matter of fact, I should. It's taking long as hell to get to where I need to go. I'm gonna start reading some of these comments. All right. I'm not focused on the shirt. Definitely, Kenny. You say you focus on can he play? Because at the end of the day, yeah, that's definitely what matters. But my thing is, when you wear that type of shirt, Deshaun, in this type of situation, in this sensitive situation, it's sending a fucked up message, man. Like, why bring any more negative attention to yourself than you've already brought to yourself by trolling like that? Ultimately, it's trolling. And Kunta Kinte was a hero to black folk. No, I understand Kunta Kinte was a hero to black folk. Sadiqwa. But my thing is, Kunta Kinte was trying to escape slavery. A lot of y'all see the NFL as slave masters. If Kunta Kinte was trying to get away from slavery, right, and slave masters, why would Colin Kaepernick, and this is just one interpretation, why would Colin Kaepernick disrespect Kunta Kinte, a slave that was trying to get away from slave masters, by wearing a shirt of a slave who was trying to get away from slave masters when you're trying to go back in slavery? And I do support Cap. I just don't support a lot of his moves. Just because I don't agree with 100% every single thing he says and does doesn't mean I agree with him. See, that's the problem with the black community, man. When something is popular and something is like the popular thought, we as blacks, we are told by quote-unquote pro-blacks, armchair revolutionaries, that we got to follow every single thing that a supposed leader says and does. And that's fucking bullshit. There's good in all things and there's bad in all things. And right now, I just don't think that the Kunta shirt was a good look. We're talking more about the shirt than if you can play, because that's how polarizing, like that's how effective that particular troll was. And you saying it's not a plantation? I don't think the NFL is a plantation, but a lot of pro-black, see, I'm not speaking to you, right? I'm speaking to those that see it as an auction block and a plantation. My boy Juvan Vintners sees the NFL as a plantation, straight up. He makes lengthy posts about it. So this is more directed towards my boy Juvan and those that think like him. It's not directed towards you. If it don't apply to you, there's no point in commenting on it. You're wasting your breath. If you don't think it's a plantation, if that's not how you see it, I'm not talking to you. So move on. Next comment. See, I hate when people like try to create arguments for something that's not directed towards them. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it don't apply to you, let it fly. If it don't apply, let it fly, man. I just think it was just a bad tactic, him rocking a shirt. Why? Because ultimately it just sends too many mixed messages. It sends too many mixed messages on all points, man. Not saying, Avon, not saying Kunta Kinte wasn't one of our first successes in black history. That's not the point. The point I'm trying to make is he was trying to escape slavery, and this dude is essentially by a lot of y'all interpretation, trying to get back into slavery. He said it has nothing to do with I mean anything like I'm a journalist right now. If you're a news reporter, you know, I report on a lot of different things. If you're a news reporter, you talk about stuff that happens in life, right? Whether you talk about murders, killings, shootings, assaults, whatever. That has nothing to do with whatever the reporter is reporting. I'm just reporting on why people might be upset. I personally don't give a fuck. I don't care. But, like I tell y'all before, I'm working on building a YouTube channel, right? Not to keep explaining this over and over again, but I'm in the process of building a YouTube channel, right? So when I'm inspired to talk about something, I talk about it. I make videos on it, just like comedians. We talk about things we're observational. Now, I'm not being funny in this particular situation. So I'm just reporting on, I keep hearing about the Kunta shirt, the Kunta shirt, the Kunta shirt. And I wasn't even really thinking about it. But then I thought about it. I'm like, yo, I could see how that could be offensive for people on so many different levels, to the point it's even offensive to himself. Because what is he saying? Is he a slave that's trying to escape, that got broken, and that's being sucked back in? Or is he just wearing the shirt? If he's just wearing the shirt to troll? See, there's nothing to agree or disagree with, because I'm not taking any particular stance. I asked a question. There's nothing to agree or disagree with. Like, you can't force somebody to agree. Like, first of all, I hate that phrase, agree to disagree. I think it's cliche as fuck, and I think it's just something that people say when they really can't think of anything else to say. No, in this instance, there's nothing to agree or disagree with, because I'm not taking a stance. I'm giving different sides of why people will be upset. But the thing is, him wearing that shirt could be perceived as shit. We're going to 222. Sorry, y'all. Okay. I gotta see where the fuck I'm going right now. I'm talking to y'all motherfuckers. I'm trying to work right now. But I said it could be perceived as a assimilation, because eventually Kunta was assimilated when he started calling himself Toby. So what is Colin saying that? Oh, I agree with you now, guys. Now I'm assimilating. Who knows what the hell he's saying? For me personally, it's confusing, and there's a litany. There's a whole bunch of different famous individuals he could have used. Hold on, let's see where am I delivering? Hold on, I'll be back. I'm not frustrated at all. Hey, I'll be right back. Hold on. Oh, That was a lot. God damn. Whew. I agree assimilation got motherfuckers lost. I totally agree. But Sadiq, she claimed that I was he claimed I was inspired. I'm sorry. I was showing frustration. I'm not frustrated at all. I just speak with passion. What am I frustrated about? Like, what dog do I have in this fight? None. I just get content from my channel. You know what I'm saying? Hold on 1 second. Hey, my bad. I'm back. I'm sorry. I had to drop some stuff off. I'm working. Work is pretty much done. Work was dead. I just had 2 runs. That's it. But I did okay for the 2 runs that I had. And if something good pops up, Mo Green will take it. But other than that, I'm gonna go home, eat some of this little shrimp or whatever, and try to hit up an open mic, man. I haven't done comedy since Saturday, so I'm missing it a little bit, but I'm gonna be back. But yeah, as far as me, this post that I'm making, there's no frustration over what Colin Kaepernick is doing. I speak with passion. Like, people misinterpret passion and just how I speak. Even when I do my comedy, I'm aggressive as far as when I'm on stage. So you might think I'm angry or I'm frustrated, but like, no, what am I frustrated about? Like, how does Colin Kaepernick wearing a t-shirt with Kunta Kinte on it affect my life? It doesn't. So for you to even draw that conclusion, it just makes me think a lot of you individuals aren't really objective. You're very emotional. You know what I'm saying? You see something, you just have some type of to what it is that I'm saying, that as a looking at what I'm saying objectively. And ultimately, this is entertainment. What you want me to just say like this? Yo, Kaepernick wearing that t-shirt was crazy, yo. He got Kunta Kinte on it. It could be viewed as being disrespectful to the ancestors, disrespectful to the NFL. Hell, it might even could be misconstrued as to being disrespectful to himself. Maybe Colin Kaepernick should be doing that. That's how y'all want me to talk? Y'all want me to just talk like in an even voice like this, so that you think that I'm not angry, or, you know what I'm saying, so you don't misinterpret me being frustrated or whatever. Like, I'm frustrated over a multi-millionaire wearing a t-shirt at an NFL workout. Really, that's my source of frustration. Not my bills, you know what I'm saying. Not the comedy career being stagnant. No, that's not my source of frustration. Not the fact that I ain't getting no buns in two months. No, that's not my source of frustration. Not the fact that I lost my hair at 21. No, that's not my sense of frustration. Not the fact that 99 POF is fucking catfish. No, that's not my source of frustration. No, my source of frustration is Colin Kaepernick wearing a Kunta Kinte t-shirt in front of his slave masters. That's my frustration. Come on, man. Y'all silly. Y'all make me laugh, man. But, you know, it is what it is. What the hell is going on out here? It's not like cop cars and stuff out here in these woods. I need to get out of Farmington, man. Farmington, man, got too many po-pos out here, man. Let me escape. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. I should edit this video when I'm done with it, but I'm not. I think kudos to Cap as far as bringing awareness of police brutality and all the bullshit that we go through, you know, as black people of America. I think that's very commendable. But I also want to say, you shouldn't forget his purpose, man. This ain't about him. This ain't about him trying to get a job. You understand what I'm saying? This isn't about bringing fame to himself. It's about highlighting the injustices that black people face in America at the hands of police. That's what it's about, man. It ain't about Kunta Kinte t-shirts and pig socks. You know what I'm saying? And an afro and all this bullshit, man. Like, it almost looks like a faux revolutionary, faux FAUX. It almost looks somewhat phony. But I'm like, yo, even if you can look at it, his actions as being somewhat phony, right? publicity is good. All publicity is good publicity. You know, at least he's bringing awareness. He's created a conversation. He may have sacrificed. He has sacrificed his career for the past 3 years. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that was self-induced. You know what I mean? People say he did have opportunities. We're not even going to talk about that. We're not even going to talk about that. But he's brought awareness to it. Like when Jay-Z said we got to look past kneeling, it probably wasn't the most effective or tactful thing that Jay-Z said, but I could see what he meant by that. It's just like when you march and march and march. It's like, okay, we marched enough, we brought attention. Now what we gonna do after that? What's the next move? I don't know what that move is. Like I said, the solution is always in the problem. You know, and there's multiple solutions. Success is, there isn't one specific path towards success and achieving a positive goal. You know, there's multiple channels, man. There's multiple ways to get to success, and then success by definition is multiple destinations as well. I think this was a success as far as bringing awareness to police brutality to those that probably didn't, in the middle America and stuff like that, and probably didn't realize this was going on. I think that was very commendable with Cap Data. I never was against that. I just think, you know, there could have been a more tactful way of him doing so, instead of doing it at his job. Like certain jobs that you work at, you can't talk about race, you can't talk about religion, you can't talk about politics, because they don't want to create friction. You know, they don't want to. You know, ultimately, you're at a job to work, to feed your family. You're not at a job to be a politician. You're not at a job to be a revolutionary. If you want to be a revolutionary, then have some type of job revolutionary where you can eat while being revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? While being an activist. You'd have that type of job. You have the support of your community. You know what I'm saying? I worked at restaurants for years, 22 years of my life, from when I was 17 until I was 39. You know, and I never debated religion. But whenever stuff like that would happen, like you would debate religion or politics or whatever, it would make it fucking uneasy, man. I'm trying to take care of my tables, you know, and every time I go back in the kitchen, I'm arguing with somebody over Trump, some bullshit, yo. You know what I mean? Like not even focused on the task at hand. You got coworkers you got to deal with. You're dealing with fire and knives and shit like that. But you focused on debating some shit that has nothing to do with your specific job. You put people at danger and at risk, man. The Bible itself says, and I don't follow the Bible, but I like to use the Bible as a reference tool because 33% of the people on the earth believe in that shit. The Bible says there's a time and place for almost everything. A time for war, a time for hate, a time for love, a time for rest, a time for peace. There's certain times for certain things, man. You wouldn't start a debate when somebody was sleeping in their bed or some shit like that. You dig what I'm saying? You wouldn't talk about your taxes while you fucking your wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't talk about going to Hawaii while you like disciplining your kids. You beating your kids with a belt, and then at the same time you making plans of going to Hawaii. Like, there's a time like especially after big victories. And Ray Lewis alluded to something like that, but I think that's a great idea. Not before the game. Like, yo, you better have these big beastie motherfuckers about trying to tackle and take your head off. And you trying to win a game. That's the thing you should be thinking about right before you play. Now, you know, you worry about that shit after it's over, but like I said, I didn't really want to get into that I agree with Colin Kaepernick's protest. I don't disagree with it. I just disagree with the method and the timing of it. That's all, man. And all this extra stuff, it just seems like a lot of trolling. Calling Ray Lewis Steven from Django his wife. Calling Ray Lewis Steven from Django. Wearing socks that say pigs on it. What's kind of funny, but it's trolling now. I hate saying not all, but not all cops are assholes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've known plenty of good ones, you know, but spotlight on the ones that are doing fucked up shit. And I really do believe that, you know, the biggest defense that the black community should have against police brutality, I'll give y'all a solution. That blue shield got to come down, man. There's a lot of black cops that agree that there's a lot of bullshit that goes against their fellow black people that aren't police. And those are the people, to me, that's our first line of defense. Those are the individuals that need to speak up and start calling out these fucked up ass cops. There was they showed, like I think a couple weeks ago, like last week, they were sharing an episode of Family Matters when I guess Eddie Winslow got roughed up by some police and he didn't even do nothing or whatever. And he tried to tell his dad, and at first his dad didn't want to take his side because he's a cop. You know, that whole blue shield shit. So, you know, he wants to weigh all the facts and weigh everything before he believes his son or whatever. And eventually, you know, Carl Winslow went. He saw the cop that roughed up his son and cussed his ass out because he was the ranking officer. He's a sergeant or whatever. But more examples like that need to happen in order for police brutality to go down. It's not going to just go down by just us protesting it. I mean, we definitely have to protest it. It's a myriad of things that need to happen. Yo, get off my ass, sir. What the fuck is wrong with this motherfucker? Damn, like this dude is driving like directly behind me, yo. That shit is crazy. It's annoying. But anyway, there's a myriad of things that need to happen in order for police brutality to be eradicated. But I think the main thing is that blue shield coming down, and not just black cops, just police in general calling out their filthy brothers, man, that's doing bullshit. That's the thing that needs to happen in order to reduce this bullshit, yo. That's the thing that needs to take place, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that needs to take place. We as civilians, we could scream police brutality all we want. You know, we could scream that all we want. But whose word to believe more than a person that's actually on the inside witnessing this bullshit happening to our people? That's the person that needs to be called out. You dig what I'm saying? That's the individual that needs to be called out. You know, or that individual, that cop, that person that's behind the badge, he's the one that needs to, like, Ray said, where's the jokes? I said, he's the one that needs to call out his fellow police officers. You know? Colin Kaepernick, like I said before, very noble thing. Bringing awareness to a lot of those that didn't realize this was happening to black people so much. You know what I'm saying? Or just putting it on blast with motherfuckers trying to cover the shit up. I totally respect that shit. When we troll the Kunta Kinte shirts and the pig side, it's like you almost making a mockery of it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you trying to be serious about some shit, when you trying to like push something like of this magnitude, yo, time out for the socks and the shirts and all that shit. Come as a professional, man. You know what I'm saying? Come more professional with it. Like I'm speaking serious business. I'm not giving you no mixed messages with the things that I'm wearing and the things that my girl's saying. Shut up, your woman. You know what I'm saying? The things my girl's saying and the stuff that I'm wearing, you can interpret it this way and that way. Why do some things that create so much confusion for us to even have these off conversations that have nothing to do with police brutality? Nothing. Has nothing to do with injustice. Nothing. I don't know, man. All right. Let me scroll down these comments. Oh yeah, she said, so as usual, black folk have to walk on eggshells. No, I'm not saying black folks have to walk on eggshells, but goddamn, don't walk with steel boots either. Don't bring like unnecessary negative attention that can be interpreted as some bullshit. You know? That's like, prime example. I got a dope ass analogy. You working at a job, like, okay, I'm a trucker. As a trucker, you're not allowed to smoke marijuana if you drive trucks. If you test positive for the THC, you can't get a real trucking job for like 3 fucking years, right? You test positive for weed. So say I go to Warner or Schneider, you know what I'm saying, or fucking US Express, and then I got on a t-shirt with the marijuana leaf on it. I'm trying to get a job as a trucker that prohibits me from using marijuana. If I smoke marijuana, I'm not allowed to drive this job. Now, I don't smoke marijuana, right? But I'm wearing a weed t-shirt at my interview. What message is that's sending mixed messages? Or another example, I'm trying to work for the bus company, CT Transit, or trucking. Let's take it back to trucking again. Or I'm trying to get another trucking job. Now, you're not supposed to drink and drive when you work those types of jobs, or be known as a fucking harsh-ass drinker. You're pushing big, heavy vehicles, and they want to know that you're on point. So I wear a tequila t-shirt of motherfuckers taking shots, driving cars and shit. I'm trying to get a job that wants me to be on point mentally as far as like my drinking habits or what have you, but I'm wearing a t-shirt of motherfuckers, a Cinco de Mayo t-shirt, motherfuckers drinking Coronas and tequilas and shit. But I want these people to take me serious as far as me. Yeah, I don't drink. I don't smoke weed. You can trust me operating your heavy ass machinery, but I'm wearing a motherfucking tequila shirt with a weed leaf on the back of that motherfucker. But no, I'm just wearing a t-shirt. This doesn't mean anything. It's whatever. I'm just wearing a shirt. This don't mean nothing. Even though it's smoke, it got the weed leaf on the motherfucker. I don't smoke weed. I just like how the shirt looks. I'm wearing this at the interview that just so happens to tell me that I'm not allowed to smoke weed on working for this company, but I'm wearing a motherfucking Bob Marley Blunt t-shirt. You sending mixed message. You trolling. I know what trolling is, yo. I know what trolling is. I'm the ultimate troll. I know what trolling is, and that's what this dude is. At least that's what it could be perceived that he's doing. And I get passionate when I talk on this because I'm building a YouTube channel. This is entertainment. Don't take what I say too seriously, you sensitive motherfuckers. God. Big up the Cap, though. You know what, though? This NFL season is off the fucking... This weekend was one of the illest... This past weekend football games was probably some of the most exciting football that I've ever seen in my entire life. These motherfuckers playing their hearts out right now. So, for it to be such spectacular football going on, and Kaepernick still being relevant, man, yo, kudos to him, man. You know? I just hope that an actual real change starts to happen. And the people that's holding that blue shield put down that motherfucking shield and start calling out their own, man. And start giving everybody a fair shake when they pull them over. You know? Hopefully that happens, man. I don't know if it's going to happen, but, spotlight on Cap, spotlight on the league, spotlight on police brutality. He's definitely been effective as far as bringing attention to himself, to the cause. I give him that. But ultimately, Kunta Kinte was trying to escape slavery. He's trying to go back into the quote-unquote slavery. Mixed messages. I'm trying to get a job that says I'm not allowed to smoke weed. I'm not going to wear a t-shirt with the weed leaf on it. I'm trying to get a job. Okay, if I'm trying to get a job that requires me to drive and be sober, it's not illegal to drink, but I'm not going to wear a shirt with a Cinco de Mayo shirt, people taking tequila shots and drinking Coronas and shit, if I'm trying to get that particular job. Because the last thing I want them to think is that I'm a fucking boozer. I don't want what I'm wearing to adversely affect the message, what I'm trying to do, unless I'm trying to troll. That's pretty much it. This was fun. Let me scroll down through some of these comments real quick. Plenty of Jews drive Benzes. She obviously missed my metaphor. So the Kunta Kinte shirt might be the curveball, the shit light on the waiver BS. I don't know enough about the I don't know enough about the waiver to comment on that, but I'm scrolling down. His cause brought light to something we already know, yet how he was treated after was showing how the NFL did. No, the NFL was grimy for what they did. But at the same time, when you're dealing with a multi-million-dollar company, there's a whole bunch of companies that have unfair rules and shit like that, and that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to deal with the unfair rules, you start your own company, you do your own thing. You don't got to bend to nobody. You could literally just start your own shit. And I'm not saying own NFL league or whatever. Like, that shit is fucking almost virtually impossible. But you get what I'm saying, man. If you think whatever it is, a company is unjust, you go to a different company and you start your own company, man. All right. Why not actually talk about the blatant BS waiver? See, I don't know enough about Deshaun. I don't know enough about the waiver to comment on it. He lost his job to a new system with a new coach. He said, no, it's called being inspired. There's a whole bunch of people that he could have worn on his shirt. The hot topic right now, Lindsay, because I'm reading through these comments right now. The hot topic is that the NFL is a form of slavery. So last thing you want to do is wear Kunta Kinte on your fucking shirt if you're trying to get back into the NFL. That's a fail. What else? The reporter said, where's the jokes? I wasn't really talking about jokes in this one. I was being more serious, right? As far as this, Vaughn says he's agreeing in some way. It's not about agreeing or disagreeing, man. But there's no denying that what he wore could be interpreted in a lot of different ways. Hence why we're having this conversation. That's not even a matter of do you agree with it or not. It's the truth. We're all interpreting it in different ways. That's the truth. What else? What other comments do I see here? That's pretty much it, man. I'll holler at y'all. This was a great video. I really enjoyed it. I know there's a lot of breaks, and there's a couple of breaks in the video. I don't care. That's how I shoot my shit. Chris Clark, ever watch this? I ain't changing nothing. I ain't editing nothing. I'm out. Hashtag everybody Nebo Green. And oh, just to let you know, I have a show coming up this November 30th. I am closing out at the Prospect Cafe in East Hartford. If you want information on that show, or if you want to have a debate with me in real life, come through. I'm taking all comers, and it's really no debate. It's just me just entertaining and talking about a topic that's going on in the world. I'll holler at y'all. Hashtag everybody Nebo Green. Peace.